Kureda, South Olo Practices and Resistance, University of Tromso, Urban Poverty and Gender, a case of Romekia Sefer, Addis Ababa Forum for Social Studies, the discourses on gender in Ethiopia, reflections, documentation of the Forum on Gender, Heinrich Bell Foundation, and feminization of poverty in Ethiopia, reflections. Then gender, poverty and role of poverty reduction initiative, reflections. Promoting sanitation and hygiene to rural households, the experience of southern nations region. I have the privilege of meeting Honorable Ambassador, Madam Tizita Mulugeta during the Africa Day in May 25th, and at that time I requested her to kindly deliver a SIKSHA Anusandhan fortnightly academic lecture, and we are really privileged to have you, Madam Excellency, amongst us. And as I have introduced our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ashok Kumar Mahapatra, who is a renowned neurosurgeon in the neurosurgeon in the pediatric branches. So I will request our Vice Chancellor to kindly address the audience for a few minutes. Sir.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Jai Jagannath. Good afternoon. Our esteemed speaker, Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Ethiopia to India, Dr. Tizita Mulugeta. I just hear her all credential and her work in human rights and gender bias. All other faculties, Dr. Sharma, our invitees and students. It's indeed a great pleasure to welcome our esteemed guest speaker. And regarding our university, this university started as a trust in 1995, and in 96 we had an engineering college called Institute of Engineering and Research. The vision document was quality education, socially concerned issues of the region and areas around our own region, then international level research. Then we kept on increasing a number of institutions. Currently we have 10 institutions including engineering, medical, management, dental, nursing, agriculture, pharmacy, veterinary, law and hotel management and nursing. So currently we have around 14,000 students and plus 1,500 teachers. So our teacher-student ratio is 1:9 and our girl students are 47%. Recently we have National Accreditation Committee which rank our university amongst the top 16 of the country, and we got a NAC grading of 3.88 out of 4. On 15th of this month, July, only about 10 days back, the National Framework of Institutional Ranking by Government of India, Ministry of Education, rank our university as 16th in the country, and our engineering college is 27 ranking in India, and medical college in 8 in ranking, dental college, dental institute 10, and law is 9 ranking. We have got this distinction because of our vision of founder president Professor Manoranjan Naik, whose aim and objective is to have a national and international level institution. To add, we had during pandemic, had in wave 1 we have 2,450 beds, out of which about 400 beds were ICU beds. During the wave 2, when the number of people are much more suffering from COVID-2, Delta virus or Delta plus, we had escalated our bed number to 2,760, out of which roughly 700 beds are ICU beds. So we did a tremendous work for our patient in our state, and we were getting a lot of prizes for doing good work during pandemic. We also participated in the co-vaccine trial. One of the 12 centers were involved in developing Indian vaccine developed by Bharat Biotech from Hyderabad. In this way, we have been doing good work for the region, for which we have been amply awarded, recognized nationally and internationally. Currently in QS ranking, we are 800 plus university in the world, and in QS Asia ranking, we are 400 plus ranking in the world. Our aim and objective is to take our institution, our university to higher level, and we also would like to have more international students because Odisha is a very peaceful state. Culturally, socially, and economically, it's very prosperous state without any intolerance, religion bias, or riots, what you see sometime many parts of the India. So I always believe if anybody has to come from any other country, there will be no better place than Odisha because it is cheap, good quality education, peaceful mind, and it is the land of Lord Jagannath, the master of the universe, which the Hinduism consider one of the greatest place of religion where people come as religious travelers. So I try to impress upon our Honorable Ambassador that Odisha is a beautiful, culturally developed, historically more than 4,000 years old culture, history, and art and craft. And our religion is very inclusive of all religious, all caste. That is, we said, this is Jagat Natha, the master of the universe, where every human being is equal with a secular concept. So I hope we have been able to put some light about our university and try to impress upon him that in a matter of 16 years, the university started 2006, we have put our institute in the world map so that people can recognize the contribution of university in very short time. Thank you very much. God bless everybody. Jai Jagannath. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We are very happy and privileged to see amongst the audience one of our earlier SOAFAL speaker, Sri Puneet Roy Kundalji. Sir, namaskar. Welcome to you. He is the Joint Secretary in the East Africa and South Africa Division, Ministry of External Affairs. He was instrumental in bringing Her Excellency to this platform. So we are...
Dr. Sharma, can I just interfere one minute?
Yes.
Dr. Puneet, we are also trying to bring out a booklet because we think these are wonderful lectures. And if anybody, all of you who give a lecture can contribute the manuscript. Last year we had 26 lectures and we have collected 25 manuscripts which you are going to put to a lecture program, a lecture series.
He has already given, sir. He has already given.
No. I'm not telling him. I am only making aware that we are doing to see that people get benefit from your lectures because these are very well prepared, well delivered and educational lecture of diversity. So I think people, our students and faculty and our participants should understand how important this lecture for all of us, including me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now it is my proud privilege to request today's speaker, Excellency Madam Ambassador, on the topic Ethiopia-India Friendship Down the Corridor of Time. Madam Excellency.
Thank you so much, Professor Sharma, for your kind introduction. Excellency Puneet, Joint Secretary, Professor Ashok, Vice Chancellor of the faculty, different faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, it's really a pleasure and an honor for me to be part of this special lecture forum. And I was really pleased to hear about some of the achievement of this university. It really shows that it is one of the esteemed university that touches upon different kind of issues and teaches in different fields and received a lot of awards. So I can say that I'm really privileged to be part of a member of this faculty in different ways. I can say that today's topic is very critical and on time because now Ethiopia and India are on the verge of celebrating their 75 years of diplomatic anniversary. So talking about the cordial friendship between the two countries is really very essential. But I can say that even if the two countries has enjoyed very long and cordial relationship, this relationship was not simply reside only on the last 75 diplomatic years. Rather, it has been there starting from the first century. So I believe it's also good to touch upon some of the historical aspects. So I just want to say that, like in the first century, many of Ethiopian and Indian traders used to meet in the Adulis port, which was along to the Red Sea ports, to sell their different kind of products, especially silk and spices were sold from India, and ivory and gold were exchanged from Ethiopia. So that was like the beginning of, as history tells us, that was the beginning of the relationship between these two historic countries. In addition to that, in the eastern part of India, there is a place where most of the Habesha community used to live. Habesha means when the Arab people called people in the Horn part of Africa, especially Ethiopia, they call it Habesha. Habesha means like black people. So this Habesha community used to live in the eastern part of Ethiopia, and still there are a lot of settlements in that area. And there were also people who were coming from Ethiopia to free these Habesha people from slavery in the eastern part of India. Especially, history tells us that there was a person who's called Mari Kambal, who started his journey from the eastern part of Ethiopia, Harar. He was sold as a slavery and go to Arab countries. Then he went to Iran, and finally he ended up in some part of India, and he was fought to free this Habesha community from the slavery. And finally, he became the ruler of Ahmednagar Sultanate, which a lot has been written about this Sultanate, but still, I believe a lot need to be studied a lot. In addition to that, there are many Ethiopians who reside in Gujarat area, and they claim they are descendants of Ethiopia, and also in the Janjira in Maharashtra, there are CD or military people who are descendants of also Ethiopia, and also in Bijapur, Ethiopians are also they found their regency, and also they also managed to become even kingmakers. And some of the famous kingmakers in that area are like Kishawar Khan, Ihals Khan, Dilawar Khan, and there are many people which are supposed they are descendant from Ethiopia and managed to have a different kind of position. Especially most of them came in the form of slavery, but after they come and settle in different part of India, they assimilate and become an Indian through time, and they manage to share their wisdom, especially wisdom in mosque making, wisdom in fort making, and also their wisdom in administration. So when we talk about the relationship between Ethiopia and India, I always said we shouldn't only focus on the relation that started in 1948, like the diplomatic relation. Rather, the historic relationship, especially that was made by Ethiopian settler who came in different ways in Ethiopia, really make a big difference. And still in different part of Ethiopia, India, we managed to find many Indians who were descendants from Ethiopia, which can be easily recognized by their way of clothing, by their way of eating, and so on. When we talk about the friendship between Ethiopia and India, we can also look at like a cultural relation. When we say culture, it is not like a simple issue. It is multifaceted. It refers to like the way of eating, the way of dancing, the way of clothing, the way of celebrating different kind of occasions and so on. But in general, we can see many kind of similarities even in these aspects. For instance, when we see the food, the cuisine, we see several kind of relationship. For instance, Indians are very well known by being a lover of spice. The same is happening in Ethiopia. We use more or less different, similar kind of spices. Especially, we use a lot of chili, as Indians are also using their own chili. Except the variety, most of the spices we use to prepare our food are more or less similar. And Ethiopian have a famous bread called injera, which is done in a more fermentation manner. In the same way, we can also find dosa in southern part of India. And the way the southern part of India eats, putting their food on a banana leaf, the same is happening in southern part of Ethiopia, which really shows that there was some kind of historical linkage between these two countries. And also dal, as being one of the routine cuisine of most Indian families, the same is happening in Ethiopia. Ethiopian use dal. We call it even misr, as the history tells. It comes from the Gujarati people, from the Gujarati people, which they call it masur, if I'm not mistaken. So even the name misr, that is our dal, got its name from masur. So misr is like the daily food of Ethiopian, which we eat with our bread. And also, Ethiopians are not like a sweet lover like Indians. We don't use much sweet. But when we see in the eastern part of Ethiopia, in the Harari region, they are very much fond of eating sweet. And most of the sweets are very well similar to Indians. And most of the clothing, even the feature of Harari people, are more or less like Indians. So this also tells us there is a big cultural and historical connection between these two countries. And also in terms of celebration of different kind of occasion. It could be like family gathering, wedding, and so on. Ethiopians are like fond of having extended kind of celebration. And also they like extended family, the same which we also witness here in India. When we also see language, as both Ethiopia and India are multilingual, there are variety kind of language. The same is also happening in Ethiopia. We have more than 84 different languages speak in different parts of Ethiopia. But among them, the official language, that is Amharic, which is more of Semitic origin. In this language, when I myself see, I find like many Hindu words. So it really shows that there are some kind of connection. For instance, the chai, we use chai. As I said, we use masur, we use sabun, hisab, kursi, kuli, gari. There are like many kind of words which you can easily find in both kind of language, which really shows the cultural aspect of the relationship is really much between these two countries. And when we see the diplomatic relationship, of course, it has started in 1948, just after 1 year after the independence of India. So during this time, like Ethiopia is like the first African country to start a diplomatic relationship with India, because it is one of the longest independent country in the world, because it is the only non-colonized African country. So because of that, we managed to start our diplomatic relation as early as possible in 1948. from then onwards, the relationship had a feature of more of based on getting Indian educators flocking to Ethiopia. So starting from 1949, there was a lot of Indians who were coming to Ethiopia to teach in different kind of secondary schools. So between 1960 and 1990, more than 1/3 of Ethiopian educators in the secondary schools were Indians. Because at that time, especially during the emperor time, there was a lot of attention given for Indian educators to come and teach in Ethiopia. As history tells us, there was one Indian person who's called Verghese, who even arrived in Ethiopia in 1949. He taught in the remote part of Ethiopia called Ambo. And during that time, he used to speak very fluent Amharic. So the then Emperor Haile Selassie, just found that person when he was visiting that area, and he was impressed by his Amharic speaking capability, and he brought him even in the capital city of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, and he hired him in the esteemed secondary school, which was named after the name of the Emperor, Haile Selassie Secondary School. And he was teaching there Amharic. He was the first foreigner who teach Amharic in Ethiopia, who used to teach Amharic in Ethiopia. And then this guy, after some time, he came back to India. He wanted to be a bishop. And then he went to some foreign countries. He became a bishop. And when the emperor came back here for a high-level visit in 1956, he was looking for this man. So he found him in Kerala, in southern part of India. Then he asked, at that time, that person became a bishop. And his name was Paulos Georgis, Bishop Paulos Georgis. Then the Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie, requested the then Prime Minister of India to give him as his personal secretary. And then when he came back to Ethiopia after his 3 weeks visit of India, he took that person as his personal secretary. And immediately after he reached there, he also inspired the Ethiopian government to establish the first theology college in Ethiopia, because he was also a bishop. So this really shows that there is a very good inspiration of Indian educators. And then following this man, many Indians, especially from the Malalia area in the southern part of India, specifically from Kerala region, many Indians were flocking to teach in different part of Ethiopia. So they were easily inhabited with the local community, and most of the time they did manage to easily adopt themselves with all the situation. And it is said that the very fact that these people in the southern part of India used to speak fluent English, and also most of them were follower of Orthodox Christianity, managed the emperor to get impressed by them and started to get many educators from that area. And their influence is a lot, especially nowadays. Most of the people in their 50s, 60s, even in 70s, some in the late 40s, had the wisdom of Indian teachers because of the teaching that were happening during that time. So the diplomatic relationship more of started in sharing, in getting Indian educators from different parts of India. Then it grows up in more of in trade and investment relation, especially in the last 15 and 20 years. This relationship has been growing. A lot of investment and trade agreement was signed between the two countries. Of course, there was a lot of high-level visits by presidents, vice presidents, foreign ministers, and different kind of ministers. And recently, we can recall the visit of His Excellency the Foreign Minister of External Minister of India to Ethiopia in June 2022, and also His Excellency the Deputy Prime Minister of Ethiopia, his visit to India in February 2021. So this shows that there is a very cordial relationship, and during such kind of visits, a lot of agreements on different manner has been signed. And one of them is on trade and investment. So from time to time, the trade and investment relationship has been increased. And nowadays, Ethiopia got most of its imports from India, especially imports in pharmaceutical products, different kind of engineering materials, machineries, and different kind of machineries and food, even food products like rice and sugar we are importing from India. And also Ethiopia exports to Ethiopia different kind of seeds, precious and semi-precious metals, and different kind of agricultural products. Hide and skins are also imported from Ethiopia. Still, the trade balance is towards India because we are not exporting much. Rather, it is India who's exporting much towards Ethiopia. And in terms of investment, of course, Ethiopia is one of the destination for Indian investors. And Indians are like the top investors in Ethiopia, especially the top 3 or 4 sometimes investors in Ethiopia. Of course, Ethiopia provide different kind of incentives for investors from India, and Ethiopia become a favorable, provide as much as possible favorable environment and favorable policies for such investors. So Indians are found in different kind of areas, including manufacturing, agriculture, consultancy, engineering, food processing, and so on. And through that, they managed to hire close to 75,000 Ethiopian, and it's a big job opportunity for the Ethiopian youth. And still, the government of Ethiopia is providing different kind of facilities, like providing different kind of shade, especially shades specific to pharmaceutical products. And one of the special shade that Ethiopia allocated for pharmaceutical products is mainly filled by Indian investors who are working in pharmaceutical industries. So we want also to enhance that into a next and a higher level. So through investment, we are really doing very well, and we still expect a lot has been done from both sides. But among all, what fascinates me more is the relationship that we have in people to people. As I've said, the historical relationship starts from people to people relationship. And also when we develop that relationship into diplomatic level, that also started through education. When people went there and start to give what they have, start to assimilate themselves with the Ethiopian society, and start to share their wisdom to Ethiopian society. So in the same fashion, after 1990s, the Ethiopian government gave priority to the advancement of higher education, and close to 45 higher education institutions were done between 1995 and 2015. And through that time, a lot of priority were given to Indian teachers. So a big number of delegations were coming to India to recruit Indian teachers from different parts of India. So I can't say that there is no part of India or no one from any part of India that never touches the Ethiopian lands, especially in terms of providing their wisdom through teaching. So as much as possible, the delegation from Ethiopian government used to come and recruit Indian from because most of the faculties were diverse. So based on that diversity, many Indians were recruited from different parts of Ethiopia, and still majority of Ethiopian institutions, especially in remote areas and some in semi-urban areas, are still filled by Indians. And for me, Indians are most resilient people who can easily adjust themselves with the situation, who can really assimilate themselves with the society and accepted highly by Ethiopian. Because, as I've said, the relationship is most based on some reliable cause, that is education. So among any other foreigner, Ethiopian heart is easily open to Indians, because the very reason of their presence in the country is for sharing their wisdom. So in the same fashion, not only taking Indian teachers from India to Ethiopia, Ethiopia is also sending its students, especially youngs, to get education in different parts of India. So there are Ethiopians coming from privately, who are coming privately. There are some who are coming through different kind of scholarship, could be ICCR, Study in India program, and different kind of scholarship. And there is also a special program of the Ethiopian Ministry of Education, who sponsor Ethiopians, especially from higher education, to come and learn in different kind of Indian universities, especially in postgraduate level. So still it continues. We still have many students, which our government, Ethiopian government, is sponsoring, and also sponsored by ICCR and many other scholarship scheme. So through this, I can say that we are managing to share wisdom and also share language, share culture, and share what we have in different ways. So unlike any other relationship, the relationship that we are basing ourselves is something cordial, something sustainable, that can still stays in the mind of people. For instance, if you see most of Ethiopian officials, higher officials, could be parliamentarian or minister at the ministerial level, most of them took their higher education either from India, or most of them were taught in their secondary or higher education by Indians. So this makes the relationship deep into the heart. So I can proudly say that the friendship is, it has deep rooted, and we are more open and open-hearted to our Indian fellows. And I think the same is happening from this side too, because whenever we are making different assessments in the universities and different kind of college, what we got about the reaction about Ethiopian students in different parts of the country is mostly very good, and they are accepted very well. So we still want to increase and develop the relationship in this term. And I also believe that there is a lot potential of collaboration, especially in technology, because India has an easily adaptable technology and also cost-effective technology. And countries like Ethiopia, developing countries, are looking from such kind of technologies which can be easily adaptable for any purpose. It could be for agriculture, it could be in the ICT, it could be in different kind of aspects. So I always said there is a lot of possibilities and means of collaboration in this term. Beyond that, when we see the relationship in diplomacy and diplomatic level, I can say that we did really share a very cordial partnership. Especially Ethiopia used to get a different kind of development assistance from India and Indian government, and we are always grateful for that. Indian had been like cooperative even in the establishment of one of Ethiopian military academy, the Harar Military Academy, and the Indians' wisdom is also found in our defense, I can say. And we are still working to strengthen that into a higher level. Beyond that, you see, both countries are a member of the non-aligned movement. We believe in the same terms. We are also have the similarity in against the terrorism, and we do have different peacekeeping forces in different parts of the world. In addition to that, Ethiopia also share the idea of reform, UN reform, as India do. So we are always supporting the idea of reform in the UN. Beyond that, I'm always, and my government is always grateful to the friendship and the partnership with India, especially in terms of our collaboration in international manner. For instance, last year and for the last 1.5 years, when India was when India is a member of the non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, I can say that Ethiopia was an agenda for more than 10 times in the UN Security Council. And in all this time, whatever the case, mostly the case was about the Ethiopian Great Renaissance Dam or the issue in the northern part of Ethiopia. In all this time, we did really enjoyed good support of Indian government. Indian government always stand pro to Ethiopian position. So for us, it is something that deserves appreciation. And it really shows this comes from our historic and cordial relationship for the last many years, and I can say many thousands years. So still, the Ethiopian government still believe that there is a lot to be done because Ethiopia is a developing country. Ethiopia can learn a lot from India. India can share a lot to Ethiopia, and also India also can take and can benefit from a different angle. So a lot is still to be done, but we did enjoy a very cordial relationship. Even the use of Ethiopia, not only through education. If you ask most of people in their, late 40s, 50s, or 60s, especially those in the 50s, 60s, they can tell you that they start to go to cinema first to watch Mother India. That was like in the mind of many Ethiopian adult population. So Indian film industry is also in the mind of many Ethiopian people. So for me, this is not like something a simple issue. It's a people-to-people issue. It touches life more than politics, more than anything else. So the friendship is something that has been there for long years, and it is based on cordial and good reason, good cause, but still a lot is left, especially in collaboration in sharing of different kind of technological issues and the different kind of ideas, especially in terms of education, investment, and trade. And Ethiopia is always open for that. And we are always grateful to what we have got. And we are always ready to work better for the future. I think it's enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Excellency. Thank you for this absorbing speech. Actually, now we will take few questions So just one questions I will ask you, Madam Excellency. The people-to-people relationship that you emphasized is really very important. In that sense, I have one suggestion that can we, because we have got a translation unit here in our university, so as a SOA Anuvada, so can we translate some of the great books in Ethiopian language into Odia, and vice versa? Some great Odia books can also be translated into Ethiopian language, so that will have a much more lasting relationship, the pupil and pupil-to-pupil relationship that you were talking of. And the second part of my question is that as many students, Ethiopian students are reading in our university also, because we entered into this international admission scenario a little bit longer, a little bit late in 2019. Still, we have the university is really gracious enough in extending full scholarship to one Segnet who is doing her PhD in management, and most probably she is in the audience. So I think how more number of Ethiopian students, as our Vice Chancellor has very rightly pointed out, the SIKSHA O ANUSANDHAN University and this side of India is a little bit unknown to many Ethiopians, I think. So how more number of Ethiopian students will be attracted to this eastern part of India, and especially to SIKSHA O ANUSANDHAN University, which is a brilliant, consistently brilliant academic ranking in the National Institutional Ranking Framework since its inception in 2016. So about the translation and about the more number of these educational exchanges, especially in higher education. Madam Excellency.
Thank you so much. Yes, as you said, like many Ethiopians are, of course, coming to different part of Indian region for looking for education, but most of them are like concentrated in some specific areas because of so many factors. But after some time, many new universities and colleges are coming, and maybe some of them are not yet known by the Ethiopian government or by our embassy and so on. So I think such kind of engagements are very important to know about who is that university, what are they doing, what are their engagements, their success stories, and so on. So I can say today is a very good opportunity to start to learn about this university. So we can start a relationship with our embassy, and then we can also facilitate different kind of exchange program, like MOUs can be signed between your university or college, different faculties with similar or a kind of different universities in Ethiopia, which are found in different parts of the country. And then it can be promoted in that way. When you manage to develop that, it can be developed into, attracting students. Or you can also arrange different kind of programs where if you have many Ethiopians or some Ethiopians who are attending your universities, they can also be a witness in your magazines or different kind of platforms that your university can organize. So we can start in this way. I can say it is started today, and we can develop it through promotion. We can develop, but whenever there is like a specific need from the government, our embassy can also facilitate and point out about your university, and we can work on that. Regarding the translation of the book, I think that's also a very good idea, because especially if it is a book that says a lot about India, Ethiopians are always eager enough to know about India. As I've said, they mostly watch Indian film. By the way, most of Indian films are they are not in English, but they most Ethiopian watch simply without knowing the meaning. No one is there to translate. They can easily understand or try to easily understand from the action. So this shows that they are impressed by the culture, and the situation in India. So I think they are also eager enough to read something if they get it translated in their own language. And this is a very good initiation to start also promote India and also your university. This can be also done in collaboration with different Amharic faculties in Ethiopian universities.
Thank you, madam. If any other questions, as you have very rightly pointed out, we will explore the possibilities of signing MOU with our university and also the leading universities of Ethiopia. And at least we will shortlist one or two books, great books of Ethiopia, which can be translated into Odia. So these two things, and as you have pointed out, we'll explore more possibilities of branding this university in Ethiopia, so that the students, instead of concentrating on a particular area of India, they will have diverse choices. Thank you, Madam Excellency. So if any one or two questions, I think we can take. So from the audience, if any questions, anybody? Yes, Professor.
About that, in the World Championship recently, Ethiopia got second position in America. And another thing, that in what way the athletic activities are developing in your area? First question. Second one is, what type of economic position is running now in your country? That's much.
Shall I read?
Yes, madam, please.
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, regarding the athletics, yes, as you have said, in the World Champion that was happening last week, Ethiopia ranks the second next to America, and that's a big achievement. We have got a lot of gold medals in running. By the way, this is always a question for all of us, but mostly the success in athletics is related to the climatic condition and attitude of the country. And even from Ethiopia, it is like people from a specific kind of 2 or 3 specific regions are always managed to get this score. And taking that into consideration, the Ethiopian government has developed different kind of athletics facilities in that specific areas. And mostly, most of these runners are coming from specific region, from a specific country in the country. So both the climatic condition and the attention given by the government, I think, are the reason for this success. And regarding the economic condition of the country, of course, Ethiopia has been recording one of the fastest economic growth in Africa. But starting from the last 3 years, because of so many internal and external factors, especially COVID, and there was an internal political issue in the country. And also, as you know, what is going on now in the world, we are really facing, COVID is also one of the reasons, we are really facing some challenge in our economy. Despite that, the government is trying to create a different mechanism to cope with the situation and to manage to be in a better position. Yeah.
Thank you, madam. I think if you permit, you can take one last question, if anybody, yes. Yes, Professor Mahanti, you can have your question, please. Yes, Professor Mahanti, Sarosh sir, if you have your questions, please ask the question. You are not audible. Please,
Not for any question.
yes. Now you can ask your question. No, you are not audible. You are not audible. Probably he is not audible. He has. You have to unmute yourself. Please unmute you and you can ask.
अरे मोर क्वेश्चन नहीं
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you. So if there is no questions, then I will request Segnet. Most probably she is in Addis Ababa. I just few hours back, I told her that the Excellency has agreed to deliver a talk. So Segnet.
Hello, sir. Yes, I'm there.
Yes, Segnet. So please accord the vote of thanks. Madam Excellency, Segnet is our PhD scholar. She is doing PhD in management and probably she will be traveling. She was there because her father's health was not good. So she was in Ethiopia for 2 months, I think, and she will be coming back to this university in the first week of August. Yes, Segnet, please continue. Please.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to extend my gratitude for our guest of honor, Ambassador Tizita Mulugeta. It's really wonderful taking your time and from your busy schedule for in this session. I can say like it is an eye-opener for Indian and Ethiopian to integrate for future long-term relationships. So I really get motivated from our guest of honor speech, especially when she bring the integrity between India and Ethiopia. So I learned a lot. So I would like to say thank you so much, Madam, for giving us an eye-opener speech. And I can say that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Segnet. And on behalf of the university, we extend a warm welcome to Excellency and her family, her charming daughter, to kindly pay a visit to this university and this part of India, so that, as the Vice Chancellor has very rightly pointed out, we are called the Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, so kindly welcome to this land of the Jagannath. With these words, I am again extremely thankful and grateful to you, Madam, for your kind gesture in finding out some time and delivering the India-Ethiopia friendship down the corridor of time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
So now the meeting is over.